Lesser of two evils. On Friday, I was chatting with a chap at work. He was keen to impart his political acumen in my direction. Normally, I would simply shut the conversation down by looking at the sky and evoking the traditional English spirit of weather watch. This time, I decided to listen to the younger generation and gain an understanding of the youth and their political grasp. I was not surprised to hear an old hymn being sung. The first stanza is lesser of two evils. In other words, it is better to vote for the party that states the obvious, the one which tugs at raw emotions. When I politely pointed out that the party he was endorsing were in effect much the same as the previous iteration, he then said, "Oh, I suppose you are a Labour supporter." I said, "No, I am anti-political." Then the conversation moved on to the geopolitical expert analysis. The entire alphabet fell out of his mouth. Not always in the correct order. I forgave him of his errors, but the CIA, the FBI, the WEF, the UN, and let's not forget the deep state. When probed on the British state and her underhand societies, the young chap was baffled. Obviously, social media has done sterling work on limiting education. When I proposed a little more stepping away from the sensationalist stories and peeking into the establishment, I was once again asked which political party I supported. Again, I responded with, "I am anti-political." Asking him to view the voting system from a different angle just maybe helped him with his worldview. When you vote, what does not change? This question evoked a raised eyebrow, followed by a, "What do you mean?" A great question, to which I spelled out that while you are misdirected by arguing about the clown show in Parliament, the state itself is never affected. The bankers, the corporations, the intelligence services, the Masonic secret societies. These never change, but they are the ones who decide the course this country takes. It is these folk who force their will on all Western so-called democracies. This was somewhat of an eye-opener for the youngster. He then said, "Well, it's better to vote for these because they are the better of the two choices we have." That is not a choice. You cannot choose the lesser of two evils. If all you are offered is evil or not so evil, then that is a game not worth partaking in. What alternative do we have? For me, it is simple. I live my life, causing no harm, no distress. A peaceful life on the outside of society. If someone says, "If you don't vote, then don't complain," I often repeat the "if you vote, then don't complain." For it is your choice to allow the self-serving parasites to invoke mandates. Without the mandate, they are impotent. If they then force their will on me, then I have won. My spirit will fly free. They need consent. Without it, then they break their own rules. There is no political solution. Let Mother Nature guide you, for she will instill her will and rectify the mess we have created. I sit here on the field's edge looking over the vale and breathe in the beauty of the rolling landscape. The sky filled with joyous birds and insects busying themselves with their regimented order. This is life. Politics is a trap. Get out and breathe.